Hi everybody, welcome to Dan Cave and welcome to the February bench update. So this is a slightly difficult bench update to do, as most of you or many of you out there will know. Sadly, the modelling community lost Gary Pashley last Thursday. He sadly passed away. Gary was an integral member of the ISM hangouts. Was part of the live crew as well on a Friday night. Took a long time to coax him into that. And it's probably a testament to Gary. I mean, as long as I've been involved in ISM and involved in the hangouts, Gary didn't actually do a huge amount of actual modelling, but he bought a lot of kits. He knew pretty much everything, as far as I could tell, about everything, as far as I could tell, and was an incredibly quick-witted, humorous man, and is a sad loss to ourselves in the hangouts, and maybe to the wider community. I'm not sure all the channels that have banned him will miss him as much as we do, but we certainly will. Gary was a really nice bloke once you got to know him, and yeah, so this bench update was due anyway, and its purpose wasn't to certainly to eulogise Gary in such a way, but it's kind of hard not to talk about it. I have to admit, you know, when sadly Dan was scattergood was one in the position yesterday. He had to tell everyone kind of directly on the live show, on the Sunday live show. I can't imagine how difficult that was for him to have to do that and to be the bearer of such bad news. But you know, it's Gary's been somewhat in the front of my thoughts ever since. So, you know, as Paul said in his brief update last night, there will be a group built in his honour. As a group as well, the ISM group, we will definitely do something, whether it's some kind of direct charity donation to whatever arrangements are made for his funeral. If his family have a nominated charity, we will happily make a contribution to support that. But without a doubt, you know, Gary will definitely be missed. But you know, we will do a group build. You know, Gary wouldn't want us all kind of moping around. So sadly, you know, modelling for us is our hobby, and you know, for all you guys watching, is probably part of your hobbies as well. And you know, we have to continue. You know, it doesn't stop in that regard. So so we will do a group build. I think one of the main kind of focuses of the group build will be, you know, one of Gary's loves in life, which was the F15, and I'm going to build this one, the Great Wall Hobbies F15E, of which Gary was a huge fan. I know a few other people are picking some slightly different topics to do, but yeah, that's going to be my one. So if you follow ISM on Facebook, that'll be posted at some point once we know kind of more details, etc., about any kind of funeral arrangements, and we'll time it appropriately. So, to not be drawn into the moping around, I suppose I should go on to my usual kind of bench update topics. So, now February. So this bench update will cover a little bit of a retrospective of my modelling activities in January. So, you know, what's been built, what's been bought, what's in progress. So before we move on, there's the usual plea. Please subscribe. Please give a thumbs up if you like the video. Please leave a comment if you wish. let me know your thoughts on how 2022 started. So before I jump over to the bench, first of all, I want to give a very big shout out to Mr. Justin Hart. Justin's on 934 subscribers. We're trying to help get him to 1,000. He's not that far away, so if you've not subscribed to Justin, please do so. There'll be a link in the description below. So Justin's a very good car builder. Currently building on his channel a Ravel 1940 Ford pickup. So well worth a look at that. So I've watched the body work already. Done really well on that. And engine and chassis in the latest part, which came out 2 days ago, which I've not yet watched, but is on my watch later list. So yeah, so get over and subscribe to Justin. So in other suitable fashion, of course, there's all the kind of usual channels I try and help support and kind of friends within the community and stuff. And Richie, RW, Hobbies, just there. Thank you very much for the stickers. They are there. Your stickers for me should be in the post by now. They got a little bit delayed because they got left in the car and I didn't realise they didn't get posted. So thank you for the stickers. I am probably going to put together maybe a separate board that I can kind of keep all the stickers I get on and kind of expand it so they're not stuck to the wall or not stuck to something I use like the desk because they end up getting destroyed. So, but yeah, so go and check out some of the other channels I've linked below. Of course, International Scale Modeler and Paul's ISM Daily Live at the Bench channel as well, where you will often see me appearing, certainly on a Friday and Sunday nights. Maybe not during the week because I work as well. So yeah, so without further ado, let's head on over to the bench and see what's been going on. Over we go. So yeah, so number one on the what's been built list for January was this. So this is the Hasegawa 24th scale Toyota 88 in the Taka Q scheme. Yeah, so this was a second-hand eBay purchase last year at some point. Not a huge amount in the box. It's very much curbside kit. There's very little under the skin. Almost no detail on the underside. Excuse me, clear my throat. So yeah, so this went through. I mean, the bodywork actually was relatively challenging. I mean, if any of you followed me on Instagram or even my Facebook page, you would have seen. So originally these white markings were decals. So I originally painted the kit. It was primed in white, then yellow, then I masked off for the black. But then once you put on the white decals, they were so translucent they just weren't usable. So interestingly, I kind of thought, well, actually, were the decals usable at all? So luckily enough, Simon Shorey kindly donated a spare set that he had, which I ultimately ended up not using. So kind of went back, completely stripped it, reprimed it, primed it in UMP white, then masked off the white, sprayed the yellow, masked off the white and yellow, sprayed the black, and it all came out a lot better. So all the decals went on. So these are the original kit decals. Apart from being a little bit translucent, they were absolutely spot on. They went down absolutely perfectly. Yeah, so some very old 30-odd-year-old decals went down quite well. So then it was a case of Gravity 2K, polish it all back, well, sand it back a little bit, polish it all up, and Bob's your uncle. The body work was done. Interior and kind of running gear were very simple. Very little to do in there. But yeah, so that was a really enjoyable kit to build. Actually, I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. Would happily build a kind of another one of these in maybe a different scheme or a similar curbside kit like this. So that was kit number 1. Kit number 2, which a few of you may have seen me build on live show, was this one, which is the Ravel 1970 Pontiac Firebird. So this, I'm not going to tell you anything about it. So this was actually built for a magazine, Phoenix Scale Modelling. So this article and photographs have now been provided to them. So that will get published at some point in that magazine. So again, I'm not paid to build this. I'm not paid to give it a favourable review. All I get is the kit and get to keep it. So I get the pleasure of building it in return for an article. So that's the slow start to January. Just the 2 kits completed. So now let's have a look at the what's in progress. So first up on the what's in progress is this. So this is the Ravel 72nd scale F4J Phantom, which comes in the Jolly Roger scheme, which actually reminds me of another Gary Pashley thing. He was an absolute hater of Jolly Roger schemed aircraft. He thinks it just been so overdone. But this kit includes those decals, so yeah, you're going to hate this one, Gary, when it's done. So yeah, so this is a moulding that has been reused by so many companies. I mean, it's got some plus points. I mean, I'm going to peel some masking tape off. I mean, ultimately, you know, for what was a very old 72nd scale kit, I actually think you look at, you know, the level of detail in the cockpit for, you know, a relatively basic 72nd scale kit. Not bad, and for an old kit as well. So, and I think I've managed to scrub it up reasonably okay. The downside on a kit like this is pretty much every panel line is raised. So without a doubt, yeah, raised panel lines are not favourable. I mean, in 72nd scale, I mean, they're not that bad, but, you know, what kind of lets them down is it's hard to give kind of any kind of panel line wash, which can, you know, bring out some of the detail. But once you have raised panel lines, any of the work you do to correct, you know, seam lines and the like, basically, you know, all your panel lines are going to get obliterated. So if it fits together perfectly, brilliant. If it doesn't, you kind of end up having to either rescribe everything as recessed lines or trying to restore raised panel detail, which is not easy to do. So yeah, but you know, I'll persevere away at this and try and get something respectable out of it. But I have to admit, it's not inspiring me at the moment. I mean, some of it, you know, some of the things I have made progress on. So I started off actually taking a leaf out of Mr. Carswell's book, Black Rifle Model Works, and actually getting things like the landing gear done. So we got kind of a nose wheel done, main landing gear painted, a little bit kind of weathered up. So things like that have been progressed a little bit. So yeah, so I'll probably try and get the rest of the weapons done while kind of finishing off quite a lot of seam work, because around, you know, what was always a common problem on pretty much all Phantoms or Phantom kits that I built is where the intakes fit. It's never quite right. There's always a step, plus there's a bit of a join along the leading edge of the wings and a little bit of a gap there to fill as well. So yeah, so some attempts will be made to correct it, but I'm not sure how far I'm going to go, and it might just end up being maybe some kind of paint experiment, have a bit of a play with the kind of weathering of the grey and white scheme. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. So other items in progress. So there is the new Toyota Celica. That's almost complete. So what you're seeing on screen is from a couple of days ago, where all the kind of major sub-assemblies were done. Interior, chassis and running gear, bodywork pretty much done. Black trim has been done. So that is a subject of a video build, so part 2 will hopefully come out this week. There's quite a bit of editing to do, but hopefully that'll get done in relatively quick fashion. And that's pretty much it actually in progress. So let's go back to me and I'll talk about what's been bought. Yeah, so so that's built in progress. So what's been bought? So in January, a couple of bike kits have been bought. So first one I bought was an NSR 250. So I picked that one up because I managed to pick up some Rothman's decal scheme for the NSR 250. So I managed to find an NSR 250 available. I think it was shipped from Japan at not a bad price. So that's target of having a Rothman scheme on it. So yes, I'm really looking forward to building that at some point. Because I've got a collection of Rothman schemes for cars as well, so it's almost like I'll have a Rothman section in my display cabinet at some point. Also picked up a pair of Evo 7s, the Tamiya kits, because they're now out of production. So managed to pick up a couple of them. Not a huge amount of aftermarket schemes for them. So there's the main, obvious kind of on the box red Marlboro scheme. Obviously don't get the Marlboro decals in there. And then there are a few kind of aftermarket schemes for Group N cars and the like. So that will get picked up and done at some point in the future, obviously. I picked up a Tamiya 911 GT3 because I found it cheap on. I think I found that cheap on Amazon actually, and that's a great kit. Simple build and a great kind of curbside 911 GT3. And then the main one that you will have seen the inbox review, hopefully, that will be coming up as a video build series, is the new Tamiya Suzuki GSX RR Team X-Star MotoGP bike, which, as a few people have said, if you've got one, drop everything else and start building it, because it's a fantastic kit and a fantastically enjoyable build. So that will feature quite soon, I think. So I want to get the Celica completely done and the videos done, because the Suzuki is going to be the next video build. Yeah, that's going to be the next video build. So in terms of future plans, there's the Suzuki. That's going to be coming up soon. That's probably going to take probably 6 weeks, because I tend to build multiple things. Depends. So sometimes you get into these kits and they flow a lot faster than that. So, but that's current estimate on that one. And then coming up in the middle of Feb, or coming up quite soon in a week's time, the start of the Le Mans GT group build on the ISM group build page. So for me, that's going to be the Ravel Audi R10 TDI, and the main reason I've gone from that is the box is the biggest box I've got on my shelf, so I want to free up some space, and that's because it includes like some kind of 3D puzzle of the Dunlop Bridge type thing. So that should be an interesting build. I believe it's an okay kit from Ravel, so a lot of their recent offerings have been very good, so I'm not expecting anything too unusual with that. So that's basically it for what's coming up. So let's do a quick switch screen and come back to me for my final thoughts, which I may have already recorded. See you in a second. So that's the February bench review done. So what do we look at? We looked at what's been done. So the Toyota and the Pontiac, although I couldn't show you much about the Pontiac because that's built for a magazine. So I will let everybody know when that's available, and once it's out in the public domain, I'll then show a little bit more detail of it. The in progress, so as you can see, there's not a huge amount. Again, I can't show you much about the Celica in progress because it's literally just finished, ready to be photographed, and that's a video build series. So I don't want to spoil the grand reveal in the video. No, I've given you, you'll see pictures as it's photographed, or you will do once I get to that, because it's pretty much ready to be photographed. Just some final little bits and pieces and a polish. So you've seen the kind of state of it on what I post on Instagram. The Phantom, I need to push the pace on that. It's not a great kit, but a little bit of work, and I think that'll get it over the bit that I'm not enjoying at the moment, and get it to the paint stage. So it'll engage me a little bit more. And as for the future stuff, obviously the Suzuki's going to start pretty darn soon, and then for the upcoming Le Mans build, I'm going to start on the Audi R10 as I mentioned already. So yeah, so there we go. So last plea, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and a like. Please subscribe, hit the bell notification. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on all that's been going on. And yeah, one last thought for Mr. Gary Pashley. Rest in peace, buddy. And I'll see you all in a video very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.